Hello everybody, welcome back. It's of course Cape Rugby TV, a little bit of sanitization there, some spraying to make sure we're cleaning the hands. But welcome, it's Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you along every Wednesday where we talk about what's happening in the world of club rugby, Western Province rugby, and of course all the extensions that go with that, like the Currie Cup and the under-20s and women's rugby and the Stormers. But our big focus, of course, on club rugby. Exciting. Big thanks to our partners on board with us here at Cape Rugby TV. Score Energy Drinks, of course, official partner to Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. And, of course, M-Chem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Let me welcome my guests this evening. Jerome Parvatten, nice to have you back, sir.
Good to be back after a while, JP.
Yeah, you've been doing a little bit of traveling, man, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. But back again, off for a bit of off time now, so it's good to have this off time.
Well, we can't wait to find out more. We're excited to have you back in Cape Town. And, of course, Faisal Felton, nice to have you back, Meneer.
Yeah, good evening, JP. Good evening, listeners. As always, good to be back.
Yep, and also to our viewers, nice to have you all here with us as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, the past weekend we've seen, the crowds and the excitement and that there. So, yeah, we're looking forward to a great season.
Yeah, well, it is exciting, and it's great to have you here because every week, especially now, we're getting new information, new updates. We know you guys are still working on the fixtures and so on, so we'll do a bit of catch up on that. Folks, of course, nice full show for you this evening. We will be catching up with one of the match highlights, at least this week, that we're looking at is All Saints and Macassar. Big derby match, if you think about it. So a lot of friendlies happening at the moment, but All Saints Macassar is on the cards. We also go down to the Stormers, where we catch up with John Dobson, head coach of the DHL Stormers, and Angelo Davids, wing for the Stormers, and Scaro Ntubeni, of course, Western Province Rugby stalwart. Pre-season training at Hands and Hearts. We go down to Hands and Hearts and catch up with the guys there and find out a little bit about some of their pre-season activities. But let's get the ball rolling. It was a friendly match between All Saints and Macassar this weekend. Let's take a look at the first half, and then we'll get our experts to give us a little bit of input. Right, so there we go, our first, I wouldn't say I'll get kicking off our first fixture, but that is, of course, one of the first friendlies, a couple of friendlies happening at the moment. Jerome, let's go to you. First off then, All Saints Macassar, typical derby match. Nice to see some running rugby again.
Yeah, it's both definitely. You can see the two sides how they play. Macassar has got big boys up front, so they focus was a lot on the set pieces and scrumming. They scrum All Saints a couple of times there, as I see. And yeah, All Saints.
But I suppose we must also remember All Saints is playing Super League B, Macassar is playing Super League C. Do you think it's an unfair call?
No, as I look at it, it doesn't look like that. The only thing is that you can obviously see All Saints is Super B. The way they run in their sort of structure, how they play. But it was the first half, as I see, was a good contest.
So this brings up an interesting conversation, Faith. Let me bring you into this topic here, because for many years now we've been saying that Super League B is the most tightly contested competition. The points 1 week is up, it's down. Teams are winning or losing by 1 point. Super League B, we've always said, is sort of the league of death. Yep. Do you think now that we're going to see Super League C and Super League B being that closely contested?
No, definitely, JP. I think the gap between Super B and C is very close, as you said.
Yeah.
And I think it is closing. And if you look at Super League C and the results that we've had over previous years, it was also been 1 or 2 points in that there. So I definitely think, teams moving up between Super League C and moving to B or B down to C, everything is very close.
Yep.
So the competition is very tight and exciting, as you can see here today.
I love the idea that we're going to now talk about a much closer gap. Macassar coach is Jeremy Jansen. Their captain is Clint Stewart. We managed to catch up with him during the match.
Ja, ek meen ons het nou basically vol vraag 3 fitness sessies agter. Donderdag aan dit is about 15 minute aan my team gehad. 'n paar units skills doen, maar obviously met tyd de limited gaat om regtig goed te bereik vir die game. Maar ja, ek meen om net om ons op die park te kry was 'n goeie ding. Ja, jong manne is definitief die toekoms van die klub. So sy wil nie te gou inblend nie, maar sy wil die ouens wat uitstaan wil sy inblend. En dan is er 'n paar ouens teruggekry van wat buite die klub gespeel het. So 3-4 ouens teruggekom en dan nog 'n hakkertjie teruggekry wat uit die strand uitkom. Maar ek sit op 'n oomblik met 40 man groep. Maar soos ek altyd sê, die groep maak homself kleiner. Maar op die einde van die dag is waarna toe jy bou nie short-term goals. Short-term goals is daar, maar met short-term goals kon jy of jou momentum en jou long-term goals. My uitgangspunt, ek meen altyd baie ouens kom met 2 jaar planne. As jy die players het, dis nie 2 jaar plan nodig en by al die clubs waar ek was, All Saints, Rugby, eerste season, promotion, so Macassar in my opinie, as dit kom op player corps en numbers, is sterker as al 2 clubs. As net hoe jy jou players manage, maar ek kan nie sien hoe ons, soos ek sê, dan baie verkeerd gaan in die groep en rondom die groep vir ons om nie next jaar Super League B te wees.
Eerstens wil ek net baie dankie sê vir dat die COVID nie verby is nie, maar dat hy ligter opgeskerp is. Die manne is baie bly, jy kan vandag sien die tipe skare wat ons trek as klub rugby. Maar die manne is baie bly net om op die veld te wees, dat ons saam kan oefen. En ja, en ons is bly om rugby te speel weer eens, man. Ja, nee, wat. Kyk, eerstens wil ek sê, ons het baie manne wat vir All Saints speel. Ons is van dieselfde dorp. Dus ek kom dis 'n derby, hulle call dit 'n friendly, maar ons weet as dit binne gaan, as dit nie 'n friendly nie, is Kilabata binne. En soos ek kan sê, as die fitness is op 'n level nie. Ons is nou 2 weke by mekaar. En die friendly het ons net goed gedoen. Ons gaan dit hier vanaand af vorentoe met die fitness wise. Ja, nee, ons het 'n meet and greet nou die 26ste van die maand. En dan speel ons die 5de Maart speel ons strand by die huis, ons tweede friendly. Ons sien uit na elke game van hoekom ons weet nie wanneer COVID weer kan lelik terugkom na ons toe nie. So elke game vat ons game vir game. Ons gaan weer Dinsdag lekker oefen, weer by mekaar en dan vat ons next friendly.
Well, it looks like the guys are excited to be back on the park. Jeremy Jansen there, of course, coach for Macassar. Clint Stewart, captain for Macassar. Jerome, I suppose at this time of the year, pre-season, coaches and captains will be looking to make sure they've got their players ready, have a good gees amongst the team.
Yeah, as we can see, I mean, from both sides, you can see. Well done to them. They've got teams going.
Yeah.
The guys are at this stage are not looking too bad. There's a few in Macassar. There's a few guys that can still work on their conditioning, but overall, I think that the coaches or the management staff can be happy with what they achieved so far.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for, is the spirit there, and great to see such positive leadership. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the second half. Macassar All Saints. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Right, so if you were with us before we went into the break, highlights from the match All Saints Macassar. As we know, some of the friendlies rolling out at the moment, and of course, well, I suppose, Faisal, before we go to the second half match, a lot of these friendlies will be selected with teams that maybe don't need to travel. They choose friendlies that are close by. So I suppose during this friendly setup, we'll look at some of the proposed friendly fixtures later in the show. But of course, when we see this time of year in friendlies, we see a lot of derby matches selected.
No, definitely. I think the one great thing is just being out on the park, and I think for a lot of the clubs, especially Macassar and that, they've had sort of ups and downs, and I think for them just to be out on the field is fantastic, and to be able to play again, that's a great thing, and I think that's what the clubs are looking for. And I think the message now, looking at our friendlies from the officer side, we've seen the increase in the amount of friendlies that are taking place. So I think again the word is out. Club rugby is back. The players are hopefully all coming down to the training and that.
Yeah. Well, folks, let's take a look at the second half now. Macassar All Saints, and then we bring Coach Jerome Parvata into the picture to give us an assessment. A bit of running rugby there, Jerome. Let's bring you straight into the picture then. Final result, All Saints winning 20 points to 14. There's only a 6-point difference there. Can you read much into that?
JP, as you said, the gap between Super A and Super B, we're just asking Faisal, Super C and Super B, just asking Faisal. So you can see that gap is closing.
Yeah.
If you just look at that score, I mean, it's 6 points in the game, which is good for club rugby. It's good for everybody. So, but All Saints just so they're like at the end, they a little bit better condition, I think. And at the end, you can also see like All Saints pack was scrumming Macassar with their big boys. So that shows me like just the level of the conditioning between the two, because I mean that pack of Macassar is massive, and for them to scrum them. So yeah, I would say Makessa just need a little bit more time on their conditioning, and they look like a team that can surprise us this season.
Well, it's early days, and I suppose one of the secrets to making it through the season is longevity. You must be able to play good rugby week in and week out, and well, as we know, Super League B very tight. Let's catch up now with All Saints coach Marwan Davids.
Dink die numbers weerspreek vir hulle self en hulle elke aan kry ons net getalle en ek dink dis excitement om terug te wees na COVID. Vandag se game was speel net vir die joy sodat ons aan die gang kan kom en daarvan te vat ons verder na die league toe. Kyk my vriend, ons het 'n klein pleidooi op die oefenveld. Sy oefen soos hy speel en dit is die honger te na die game toe gebring. Plus die excitement om terug te wees van COVID af. Ons motto is change your mentality. Dit is wat ons van jaar aangesit het. So met die mentality change kom audience en daarmee audience kom basically die positivity wat ons nou hier kry. Definitely gaan ons reg wees vir die league. Ons gaan die span is oorgehaal vir wat wag vir hom.
Faisal, Marwan, of course, former coach at St. George's, he's made the shift to All Saints now. But he will, of course, know many other players because they're all from the same neighbourhood.
Yeah, no, definitely. As you know, it's a big derby, and I think the relationship among the clubs and that's very close. As you know, Marwan, like you said, at St. George's. I think the community and it's all about community at the end of the day. And yeah, it's good to see the guys still active and still involved.
Yeah, well, let's also catch up with All Saints captain, Elroy Christians.
Vandag kan het weer wys, even as jy kyk nou hier na die crowd wat hier vandag gewees het. Almal het uitgesien en veral die wedstryd wat plaasgevind het, All Saints Makassa, is altyd lekker. Soos hulle sê, is 'n derby. Maar vir ons is dit nie net 'n derby gewees nie. Vir ons the purpose. Ons werk hier vanaand af vorentoe vir die seisoen wat voor lê vir ons. So by ons het gaan kyk nou wat als 'n plek gaan val vir ons vandag. Wat ons duide wat van tot nou toe vandag toe. Ja, definitief. Ons het 'n klomp youngsters in ons team. Hulle was nou vir 'n redelike tydjie besig gewees met die beat statsies en die sevens. So hulle is al redelik op 'n goeie level al. So ons seniors, ons kom maar nog. Maar ek dink ons maak ons reg vir die seisoen. Dis ook maar 'n vriendskaplike wedstryd is. En ons kan net beter raak. Ja, dit is lekker om weer op die veld te kan wees. Om die eerste wedstryd te kan gespeel het. Is 'n vriendskaplike wedstryd, maar dit is goed as uit wat ons uitgesien het na en as ek kyk na ons squad, ons is 'n goeie squad. Die manne werk hard. Ons het gesê vandag maak nie saak watter kant toe die scorebord sal wys nie, maar ons het 'n doel vorentoe. Want die league begin dan weer binnekort. So ons nog 'n paar wedstryde. Ons bou vir wedstryd nou. En ons coaches, vir hulle sê dankie vir die harde werk wat hulle insit eintlik vir ons.
Iceberg aircons and compressors are, of course, on board with Cape Rugby TV. And as you know, there's been a fantastic promotion running for Iceberg aircons and compressors. But let me tell you a little bit more about Iceberg aircons and compressors first. They were, of course, established in 2009. A number of individuals came together. They've got more than 30 years of experience in the field and have, of course, specialized in air conditioning, specifically for vehicles. And of course, they've got a big list of credentials where they've worked with the likes of Westbank and Stanek and Imperial, and of course, in a variety of fields, such as even as going as far as aviation. But they specialize in aircon installation, customization, service, repair, regas, reconditioning, and of course, spares supplies. Now, we've been running a competition whereby you can win yourself a prize to the value of 1,500 Rand. Courtesy of Iceberg aircons and compressors. In fact, there you see the logo behind me right now. You can take a look out for that logo. The prize includes that pretty much full picture. It's worth 1,500 Rand. And all that you had to do is visit our Cape Rugby TV page where we're running the competition and use the hashtag Iceberg aircons and Cape Rugby TV and tag 3 friends. Now, the winner has finally been announced. Somebody actually went onto our Facebook page and made the effort to win this fantastic prize to the value of 1,500 Rand. So, congratulations, Leslie Heister. Leslie, we will be reaching out to you on Facebook Messenger, and you are the winner, the first winner of the Iceberg promotion to the value of 1,500 Rand, and you win for yourself that prize that includes a full aircon service with regas, oil replacement, tyre replacement, leak detection, pressure check, filter exchange, diagnostics, sanitization, of course, of the aircon system and the interior cabin. As I said before, who knew that so much goes into air conditioning maintenance for your car? But congratulations, Leslie, you are the iceberg winners. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. It's nice to have you along. We, of course, are so excited at the moment. I've got Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby and Jerome Parvada from Western Province Rugby in the studio with me. But we're super excited about the fact that rugby is back. We're seeing friendly fixtures, we're seeing engagements, we're seeing workshops. The DHL Stormers are playing, the Western Province Currie Cup side is playing. We've got Springbok women's players practicing in Cape Town, all very exciting. Jerome, let's quickly touch on you. You've had your hands full, very busy. Before we go to the DHL Stormers, we know that they're about to start traveling, but you've had your hands full with the Currie Cup. It seems like the spirits are good. You've got young bucks coming through the ranks, and you've got a couple of days off now to rest.
Yeah, JP, we're actually fortunate. We have a few young guys, but we also have a lot of the sort of the older guys coming off injury last week who started to play for us. And yeah, it's good. We had about 6 guys coming back, older guys. So yeah, it's good to have them back. And yeah, so this week, coming this week, we're off for about 2-3 weeks now. We're going to be off, take a bit of a break because the URC is in full swing now.
Are any of your guys that you've had in the Currie Cup going on tour with the Stormers?
There's 10 guys.
So just let me just, you've 10 of your players.
Yeah, 10
players
going
to the Stormers.
Going
into Ireland.
Yeah, going to Ireland.
All right.
Yeah.
So clearly, you and the Currie Cup side and the Stormers side has got a very close relationship in terms of player management.
Yeah, definitely. We have to do that, JP, because of the guys moving up and down, and we have to do sort of the same systems, and it worked well because we train together, guys are jamming together. It's one big squad.
Yeah. Can you give us an update on the under-20s? They're starting soon?
Yeah, the under-20s are playing the Sharks on Saturday in Durban. It's their first game. So I think Labib Levy and his boys are ready to go.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah,
so we finally got all the teams on the paddock, getting on the field. Let's catch up with the DHL Stormers. They of course head now to Ireland to play Connaught this weekend. We now speak to the players behind the scenes, including head coach John Dobson, wing Angelo Davids, as well as Scaro and Tabeni.
Yeah, look, we've been good the last couple of weeks. We're actually pleased with our progress since URC started. The tour I thought was good. Obviously, we just won that game against the Lions, where I think we dominated the game, but we lost badly. But since then, we've gone really nicely. To be top of the S8 conference, we're proud of that. Probably got our toughest challenge this week, though. Yeah, it helps. Just we know we're going to face a very different world, because I think the Bulls are going to Italy, which has got the Zebra with guys in the Italian national team. The Sharks going to Benetton, where 23 guys are missing. We're going to Connaught. I think they've got one guy in the Irish squad, and the weather looks like 95 km gusts and rain. So it's tough, but the fact that we are confident does help a lot from those 2 games, like you said. I think the weather and the fall were massive factor for us. I mean, we did try and sort of water down the field there for when we scrummed to get used to it, but you cannot prepare for what looks like 2 degrees, 95 km/h winds, a hurricane a storm that's going through Western Europe at the moment. So we can't, but I think mentally we can talk about it so we're not surprised, and we've got some plans for the conditions, but it is a massive challenge for us to go from 28 to 26 degrees here to what we're going through on Saturday, and that's probably our biggest threat.
Also, just looking at the squad itself, a lot of youngsters coming through, a lot of youngsters putting up their hand, and I think, there's a very good balance that you guys as the coaching staff and management that brought that into the team as well.
Yeah, I think it's nice here, as you said, the balance of the... I can see, you can see from there.
That's the life
Yeah, so no, I think it's a good balance. I think obviously a bit of a gamble with Dion and Brock coming back and Juan, and unfortunately Chuba's injured at the moment, but they brought a lot to the team and leadership, and that I think helps the youngsters, helps the Evan Rosas and the Sazi Sundys and the Andre Hugerfender when they play with a guy like Brock has. So it's a nice group balance in the group. I honestly believe we can keep this team together. We could be really good over the next couple of years. Yeah, we just know it's going to be something that they've never experienced, and I think that we're not going to, let's say, as you suggested, no, the South African stadium against a local derby, which we've been doing since the pandemic stopped. We're going to a greyhound racing track on the west coast of Ireland in the middle of a storm. So it's to try and embrace that as an opportunity to do something really different, and that I think the guys are excited for it. I mean, it's going to be tough. If we get it, we're in a great position, but we're looking forward to it.
Ja, ik denk die ouwens is baie excited om weer een beetje rugby te kan spelen. Dus weer een opportunity wat ons kan gebruiken om ons skillsets uit te laten en net te gaan spelen. De manier hoe ons wil spelen. So ik denk die ouwens is erg excited om weer in de gang te komen met die URC wat nou beginnen. Ja, ik denk definitief. Ik denk die ouwens is die twee games wat ons gespeeld hebben in de Sharks en in de Lions het hulle weer baie confident, dat is wel baie confident uitgevat. So ek dink dat is regtig meer baie excited om weer naweek te gaan speel. Ja, ek dink alles baie excited. Ek dink dit gaan vir ons ander experiences om in die wind en allerlei klasmangoedes te speel, maar ek dink weer eens as ons net by ons system bly, dan gaan alles vir ons uitwerk soos ons wil hê dit moet uitwerk. So ek dink ons moet 'n groot daas af van maak en maar net uitgaan en onsself geniet.
Yeah, I think the guys are excited. It's been, as you said, a frustrating period. So yeah, I think it's nice to be to have a few games behind us where we've come out positively. So yeah, I think we're on a good wicket at the moment, and yeah, hopefully we can do well in Ireland. Yes, definitely. I think it'll be massive for us, especially it's a short travel, so we don't have much time to get there and acclimatize or get used to, have rhythm. We have to arrive there, sleep one night, captains play, fly back again, because the show must go on. So yeah, I think having a few games behind us now, I think it's definitely going to count, hopefully in our favor. It's obviously going to be different for a lot of the guys, but we have some guys who have some experience in that type of weather, but we've been chatting about it, so you have to accept it when we get there. It's either going to be snowing, it's definitely going to be raining, so you must just get over it and get on with the job. Yeah, I think we've got a very nice balance at the moment. We've got guys who have played in Europe, we've got guys who have played in other parts, in Wales, in France, in Ireland. So I think, and then as you said, the youngsters that are pulling through as well, just to add a different dynamic, a lot of energy. They're always giving it a go. So yeah, I think at the moment we've got a really nice balance. Yeah, I'm sure sometimes it's tough for the coaches, but it's a good headache to have. No, definitely. I think the nice thing is that everyone is learning from each other. Someone has experience from there. We sit and we listen and we learn and we try and absorb as much as we can, which is something very nice. There's no egos and everyone just wants to do their bit to try and help the team on the weekend.
Jerome, quite a bit of conditioning there, of course. The players, just from a playing point of view, maybe just for the viewers, how much do you guys at this stage of the season, how much do you mix between conditioning and match play training? I know that there was a shift from pre-season and during season.
Yeah, JP, for us, we're fortunate to have the guys sort of full-time, so the guys gym every day.
Not a gymming?
Obviously,
right.
Obviously the gym is changed from the heavyweights. It's quick repetition now.
Okay.
And then on field, it's a lot of, we keep on going with the conditioning, but instead of all this running, it's a lot of conditioning games.
Yeah.
As you see there, like breakdown, offloads. So that's the type of things that we are busy doing now, yes.
Yeah, so right folks, well of course as you know every week we go down to MChem 24-hour pharmacy and give you some feedback, some food for thought as to what it is that you can do at MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Now one of the things that of course you do need to know is that MChem 24-hour pharmacy has a very wide range of medicine. Of course, we know they carry a very wide range of many different pharmaceutical products, orthopedic products, sports nutrition products, but of course medicine is another range that they've got an extremely wide range. So when you need medicine, MChem is the first place that you should go and look, and of course if they don't have it, they will make sure that they get it for you. And of course, in addition to that, if you need any advice with your medical aid claims, then there's a medical aid administrator available at MChem also to help you. So very wide range of medicine available at MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Remember, they're of course open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at MChem on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. And as I've reminded you many times, there's free parking outside. There's a fantastic coffee shop upstairs. But yes, go down to MChem first if you need your medicine. They have a wide range of medicine, and there's always someone there that can help you, and someone that can give you advice on what it is you need. And as I said, if they don't have it, they'll get it for you. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back. Right, folks, of course, as you know, every week we go down to a club. Well, this is going to change. As soon as we get the fixtures, and now we're starting to see it with first halves and second halves and so on, and more logs and results and fixtures, we'll hope, probably be getting back to how it was before. But at the moment, we are still taking the opportunity to come down to you, the clubs, and give clubs an opportunity to be profiled on Cape Rugby TV. This week, it was the opportunity for Hands and Hearts Rugby Football Club. We go down to the club and we catch up with some of the players that just, and of course coaches, they had just over 50 players at practice session. We'll catch up there with Peter Links. He's of course Hands and Hearts head coach, and we'll speak to Clive Kruger, Hands and Hearts wing, and Alistair Frasenberg, captain for Hands and Hearts.
Ja, ik denk al die ouwens is excited om terug te wees. En zo'n lang tijd moet bij elkaar te schrappen. Het is een baie van spelers. En ik denk die ouwens zien uit naar de eerste game. Je moet zien uit een beetje op de veld te wees en rugby te spelen. Ja, ik denk die ouwens is blij om weer terug op de veld te wees. En mensen zien baie nieuwe gezichten op de veld en dat is een goede ding voor ons club. Voor ons toekomst vorentoe. En ja, we zal niet blij zijn om weer op het veld te zijn. Voor de club is het altijd een goede ding om nieuwe spelers te zien. Ik denk dat het laat wordt jong ook die weer niet komt. Dat is altijd goed voor de club. Heel veel gemeenschap zelf en die nieuwe gezichten te zien. Ja, ik denk allemaal zal uitzien naar Saterdag. Om net weer op het veld te zijn. Het doel was een lange tijd dat we niet op het veld waren. Ja, ik denk allemaal zien naar de eerste game.
Everyone is excited to be back, like for the 2 years that we didn't have rugby and that we didn't play, it was very disappointing and upsetting for us to not have any sport with us. And when we heard we could have some sport again and we could be back on the field, get back into action, and we applauded that because that is what we all want as rugby players, youngsters even, and as youngsters coming into the game, knowing that there's going to be sport again to be played for the years to come, it's very exciting. We are looking to a great season because we started off with a bang, especially with the Western Province Core Sevens. It was a big lift up for our club, and it was like, everyone would say it was like bringing back Hands and Hearts onto the map, as in our club isn't quiet anymore into the rugby season. So it's a big moral boost, like you said, and we are looking forward to the season coming. Yes, I would say the crowd is very much intrigued into what's going to happen, and they are looking forward to being back on the field. It was a very long 2 seasons, like I said, and I know the crowd is going to be huge again, once again, and we are known for our big crowds. But not also that, it would be nice to be playing in front of our own crowd again. We are Hands and Hearts. We like our club as it is known for a friendly family club, that we take you in as a brother, we make you part of us, and that is what we're all about. That is what we like about each other, and that is what the club does.
And that's how we build our moral and our excitement into going to every Saturday playing against different teams. The excitement keeps building, the moral keeps going up, the good vibe keeps staying. So it's a good immune booster for us all.
Ja, Enzo, dat spreekt boekdelen die feit dat ons zoveel nommers op die veld heeft. Ik denk wat eigenlijk ons gehelpen is het feit dat ons het vroeg begint, ons het laat geëindigd 2021 met die sevens. Zo was een groep ouders dat ons bezig houden met die sevens, die schoolsevens. En onmiddellijk daarna te beginnen met die andere voorbeelden van de sevens. En die getallen het basis net toegenomen in plaats van afgenomen. So, dat is eigenlijk een siening voor ons, zoveel nummers op het veld. Ons eigenlijk een probleem, ons speelt zaterdag een internationale wedstrijd. En ons zitten met 4 senior spannen, so het is moeilijk om 2 spannen te kiezen. Maar zoals ik gezegd heb, ons gaan allemaal een kans geven, so allemaal spelen 2 groepen in één wedstrijd. Ja, definitief. Ik denk die win van die sevens voor die club dat het bij betekent dat ze die club op het voorvoet. Dat is een goede motiveringsfactor. Die feit dat als ik kijk naar die nieuwe spelers die aangezet is, zeggen we die spelers wel dat het hetzelfde met de club waar het goed gaat. En ik denk die sevens dat een goede voorbereiding voor die liga. Als je kijkt naar vanaf het begin met die 15 man oefen, die getallen was daar geweest. Ik kon op het donderdag kon ik die sevens terug uithalen, maar we hebben nog steeds genoeg mannen om aan te gaan met die 15. So, voor die klapmoraal betekent het baie dat ons 2 groot competities winnen. Die behaling sê dat we wel die gezonde, die klopt gezond. En dit is goed ook in het voorbeeld op die fondatie dat we een leer die ja, definitief. Ik denk die mensen, ik denk die toeschouwers, zowel als die spelers, is rugby honger. Die leemte waar er was, of net die spelers ouders dat bezig was. So, als ik kijk bijvoorbeeld de naamse oefening, die zijn er 4 stakken voorspelers. So, dat weet je die ouders zo honger zijn. Ik denk die gemeenschap, die allemaal uit naar zaterdag. So, ons speelt in Blik, onbekende van, weet van Blik, die Blik spelen. So, ik denk zaterdag niemand bekend voor jezelf, vol te maken. Ik denk die mensen honger te hebben, zaterdag wordt je 4 op een team.
Well, there we go. Hands on heart in action, 50 players. Faisal, I suppose this is what the clubs will all be looking for now at this stage, is to get players down the field, not to be wasting any time. There is now confirmation from you guys that the league will start in early April. So I suppose at this stage, the big priority is for clubs to make sure they get players down the field, if not already.
No, definitely, JP. I think like you said, priority is numbers, is to get back all those old players, get back, obviously new players and that there. But I think for a lot of the clubs at the moment is looking at in terms of, instead of the new players, but looking in terms of what we had, in 2019 prior to COVID. So priority now is to get all those old players and all those guys back, to let them know the rugby is happening, training has started, and basically the friendlies are starting now this weekend. I think a lot of the guys that still at home are waiting until the friendly matches are taking place. So we've definitely seen a number of increase in the terms of friendly matches, but I think also in terms of clubs and the amount of teams that they are entering and matches that are being played.
So Jerome, let me ask you this. Assuming that clubs have managed to get some players back to the field and they have managed to get those players in the last few weeks to some level of fitness, they've started creating some sort of rhythm. Now you have players arrive maybe next week or in 2 weeks' time. Those players that have not been practicing now have to fit in with those players that have been practicing. What is your advice for a coach to find that balance? Because you sort of have to now fast track the guys that are only arriving now.
Yeah, JP, it's quite important for a coach to know, or their conditioning coach or whoever they have at the club, to know the players and to know which level the guys are. It's no use guys has been training for a month and then a guy comes in his first training session. So that guys who's been training for a month are on different conditioning program. So you will find at the club there's always 6-10 guys like that. So that guys must start with the base, the same as that guy started.
So when you're on the side of the field as a coach, do you split them?
You definitely split them, and that guys must know they can't join these guys, because that's where injuries
You're
come.
gonna get
That's
injured.
where hammies come in, guys' knees go because they're starting bowling up
Right.
with contact.
So don't throw those
don't
players
do
in
that.
with the full
Never.
pack.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you split them off. There we go, folks. Some very important advice. Then, if you're a coach and you're seeing players that are late to the party, so to speak, split them off and get their conditioning sorted out until you're ready to bring them into the picture, I suppose.
Exactly.
Right? Faisal, one of the elements, I suppose, also that you'll be. In fact, we're going to talk to you a little bit about lotto applications. But before we do that, it's of course Score energy drinks, opportunity time for you to win yourself a case of Score. So as you know, on a weekly basis, we put out a Spot the Ball competition. We've now moved from Spot the Logo to Spot the Ball, and we put this on Facebook and we give you an opportunity. So I also have not seen the Spot the Ball, and we're each going to give it a go. Well, this certainly looks to me like Hamilton's playing against Stellenbosch, but let's take a look at the Spot the Ball. There we see Jerome and Faisal. You've got option A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, and of course C1, C2, C3. So Jerome, would you like to give it a go?
I go A3.
You're going to go with A3. Faisal?
I'll go to A2.
You're going to go with A2. You see now,
You left it A1.
every week you
2 out of 2.
You've been winning this thing every week, so I'm going to take the odd ball out here, and I'm going to go with A1. So Jerome, you're going with A3.
Yep.
Faisal's going with A2. I'm going to go with A1, and let's take a look and see where is the ball. There we
3
go.
out of 3.
Faisal, congratulations! You've now got it 3 times successfully.
There you go.
Right, so, well, there we have it, folks. A2 is your block. I don't know when I'm going to actually win this competition myself, but yes, congratulations then to Oliver Jacobs. Oliver, you correctly spotted the right block where the ball is, and of course A2. So congratulations, Oliver. You walk away with a case of Score energy drinks as well as a set of Cape Rugby TV masks. Remember, folks, you can also put yourself in the mix to win the competition. Just visit our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. All right, folks, we'll be back after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back, folks. Well, if you're watching the show now, you'll of course know that there's such a lekker gees at the moment. We're talking club rugby. We're having a nice bit of fun. There's definitely a good vibe. A lot of friendlies at the moment that have come in, and of course we're grateful to those clubs, especially the media marketing and sponsorship guys that have been sending their results in to us. Keep sharing it. We'll keep asking you on Facebook, but please keep sharing your results with us. Let's take a look then at some of the results from the weekend. Well, Stelkor hosted Swellendam this weekend. Swellendam winning their 32 points to 3. Young Peoples travelled all the way to, well, in fact, no, Pater Noster came down to Young Peoples, 31 points to 12, win for Young Peoples. Whistling Wheels with a 10-all draw against Lamont Wanderers, and Kylemore with a 47-10 win over Simonium. And of course, you just saw the match between All Saints and Macassar, as All Saints took the bragging rights there, 20 points to 14. Faisal, before we go to some of the fixtures that are coming up this weekend, one of the things that we are starting to see is clubs have managed to get some success with the lotto side of things. You must be happy with clubs that have managed to get some money in their bank account, courtesy of lotto and the work that you guys did last year.
So happy. I think from our side, been overwhelmed and overjoyed. I think it's well. A lot of the clubs are in much need of financial assistance and that. And I must commend the guys that did apply to the lotto. That some of the guys that through that we assisted and that were able to get funding. So in the last week or two, a lot of those lotto applications and funding have come through, and a lot
so
of
the clubs are getting money in the bank.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, for clubs out there that are struggling, that are in need of assistance, there's a perfect opportunity again to take up the opportunity. And again, I think from the officer's side, if you need assistance and help, we're there to assist and help you. Yeah. It's all that you need to do is just get the information to us. We will put it together. We will assist and help you and take you through the process. So it's quite simple.
Just tell me a little bit about when we, maybe people don't always translate it into something. Are we seeing, what are the kind of things typically that we will see clubs who have been successful and have managed to get money from lotto? What are the kind of things that we normally see them spending that money on? Is it jerseys and pole protectors, or what is it?
Yes, I think from the lotto side, it's very prescriptive in terms of what funding you get. So the main focus is kit and equipment in terms of assisting and help. And if you look at a lot of the clubs, that's where the need is. You know, these guys always asking, you know, for balls, for assistance, for kit and that there. So you have a perfect opportunity now to basically kit out your entire, you know, teams that you have within your club. You know, with the assistance of the lotto.
So are we starting to see already? Are we at that stage now where if you say clubs are putting money in the bank, getting money from the lotto, are we seeing clubs already ordering new jerseys, buying new kit, and some of these clubs that are looking so fancy now? Is this because of their successful lotto applications?
No, definitely. I think early on we saw All Saints, they kitted out with the lotto branding, lotto pole protectors and that there. So for the clubs, I think that applied. You know, I must again, you know, commend and I say thank you. I know, like, you know, Hands and Arts there as well. They're one of them. The hard work that the management have put in place to make sure that, you know, from a player's perspective, that they have got support. And it's a simple process. You know, I'll say to a lot of clubs, if you need help and you need assistance, you need to take up this opportunity.
Right. So there we go, folks. If you still have not had your lotto applications in, reach out to Western Province Rugby so that they will help you with the lotto applications. We would of course want to see that all the clubs and their administrators are kitted out in new jerseys or balls, or getting new balls or pole protectors, whatever it is. But yeah, take that opportunity to apply for that funding. Certainly will be. I'm sure all clubs need it. Let's take a look at some of the friendly fixtures then coming up this weekend. Remember, folks, these are, of course, official friendly fixtures as approved by Western Province Rugby. LC Sruffier take on Stelkor this weekend. Hands and Hearts and Blakes. It's Gardens and Collegians. CPUT and Tygerberg, Bishop Lavis are hosting Delft. And then Rocklands. Lamont Wanderers travel to Rocklands, while Whistling Wheels travels to Eersterivier, and Windmill United are off to Visante Kraal. Kraaifontein hosts Fora, Belhar will be taking on Albions, Brackenfell and Durbell, Belleville and Blue Jets, Van der Stel and Evergreens, Morningstar are hosting Scottsdene, and Hamlets are hosting Hammerdeers. Gentlemen, if we look through some of these matches, Jerome, you've got a big smile on your face. Is there anything that jumps to mind for you?
No, it's good to see like all the teams playing and they organize the friendlies and stuff. And I think the one that stands out for me is CPUT versus Tygerberg, because CPUT next Friday is their first
Varsity Shield
game. So it's interesting to see what they're up to.
But Faisal, looking at this, we spoke earlier on about some of the derbies. There are some interesting matches here. I mean, if you just look, for example, I think the Morningstar Scottsdene game could be a tough game.
Yeah, definitely. I think also you've got Eersterivier and Whistling Wheels. You know, that's also a big derby game in that there. So I think any game at the moment, you know, spectators and everybody want to get out there and they want to, you know, see rugby in that there. So for, you know, I think for any club, every game should be a derby day.
Jerome, Belleville and or at least Brackenfell and Durbell.
Yeah, that's a big one also.
Yeah.
It's also neighbours, so yeah. That's
also a lot of players there that know each other, and then Belhar and Albions also strikes me as an interesting game. I think there's also going to be a big game there.
That's going to be a big one also, yes.
Yeah, and of course maybe also close to home is Van der Stel Evergreens up against Excelsior. But yes, a number of top games there. Interesting in games where we could probably look and find many derby comparisons in this weekend. But Jerome, your next game then, Western Province DHL West Province Currie Cup side, you've got a bit of a break?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a great break. Then our next game is against Cheetahs in Bloemfontein.
Faisal, final question. We know that you guys had meetings this week. Women's rugby, massive success in the last few years, the growth of women's rugby, the various representatives of clubs. Successful. I believe you guys had a successful meeting this week.
Yeah, definitely. We had last night a fantastic meeting, a number of new clubs, a number of new faces. So I think from women's rugby, in terms of what the plans is and the input that we've received, we're looking forward to a fantastic season. I think the one element to highlight is basically in terms of the start of the club rugby season, which we will probably start round about in August. But obviously that's in discussion now with the clubs. But it helps in terms of focusing on the IPL, which starts now at the end of April.
And of course, this year you guys are also going to be looking at additional elements like 10s and 7s and 5s and so on.
Yeah, so
I don't think we've got fives rugby.
I think just on that as well, JP, I think the key thing with the ladies, it's about growth. So the focus is going to be initially on 7s and 10s while the IPL is taking place. So we're obviously going to look at trying to support the ladies in terms of the IPL planning and preparation. And then from a 7s and 10 perspective, it's all about growth and looking at identifying new players and that there. So yeah, definitely. I think the plan, in terms of what we've got planned and that there, I think definitely, we'll be on track to have a strong club rugby season starting in August.
And if there are women out there who want to join a club structure, those doors are still open. And if they want to join as a club representative, am I right, those doors are still open?
Yeah, there's a number of clubs that have started, but I think the one key thing that we're looking at also doing is that although we're starting 7s and 10s, in May, June, we're going to be having 15. So the clubs that have teams will still continue playing. And those clubs where there are players within specific areas where there aren't any clubs, there will be regions. So anybody that's wanting to join, you either sign up at a club or otherwise contact the office. You can contact in terms of signing up at a club.
All right. So there you go, folks. Don't forget then, every club is supposed to have a women's representative, and that will help grow the women's rugby and girls rugby structures at those clubs. So if you are interested, reach out to Western Province Rugby and become a champion for women's rugby at clubs. Jerome, thank you very much. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
I'm available next week, JP, so I'll be here.
Fantastic. And Faisal, fantastic to have you here. We'll also hopefully catch you again next week.
Always great to be here, JP. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
There we go, folks. The spirit of club rugby is back. We're so happy to be talking about friendlies and fixtures and results and logs and so on. It's all coming now. Stay tuned. Make sure that you tune in every Wednesday on Cape Town TV. And just incidentally, folks, if you have not worked out yet, that for those of you that are terrestrial viewers, go and get your set-top box. This is a digital box that you can get that is out there that will help you pick up the terrestrial signal, because where there will be a changeover in the broadcast signal at the end of March. So make sure that you go out and get your little set-top box from one of the retailers. You can of course apply for it at the post office as well. Very important that you get that. A lot of channels on that set-top box for you to watch as well. You just plug it in your TV, you put your antenna in there, use the remote control, and you can keep watching Cape Rugby TV or on Cape Town TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.